do agree with Councillor Taylor that this is an extremely difficult issue, and of course all planning issues are always a balance between various sides of the argument, and it is quite easy, in fact, I believe, to see both sides in this case. And we need to remember that this is a site which is already developed and has industrial use. But we need to ask ourselves, is this particular use appropriate for this particular site? Now, it is a site being proposed to be used for minerals. It isn't identified in the minerals plan, and I believe that plans are very important. I think they should be working documents, and they underpin a lot of what we do. And in fact, they are referred to throughout this whole report. Unfortunately, some of the plans referred to are still at draft stage and not formally adopted, but I do think we need to take into account the fact that these unadopted plans, the Clean Green Marine is an example, are statements of proper intent, not just somebody's wish list. I have various problems with this application. The first is the 31 jobs is not actually very many in a town the size of Newhaven. It says nothing about the quality of the jobs, and you need to balance this against the District Council's strategy, which is much longer term, for longer term regeneration in a much different type of employment in the town. The Newhaven Port itself has identified this site for clean development, and I don't think anybody would argue that this development is super clean. The National Planning Policy Framework says that the planning system should prevent damage to air quality, and that's dust and emissions. And we've heard from people speaking from the environmental side of the argument the damage that dust and emissions do to the beach and the wildlife, and indeed to birds. And those who know me well will know I am very bird phobic, but equally I do think they should be protected and looked after. I wish them no harm. Noise again. Our mineral plan and the planning policy framework say whatever we do should not have adverse effects on health and quality of life. And I think we have heard from the speakers why they believe, and I have to say I think their arguments are quite convincing, that health and quality of life could well be affected by this application. And I accept that money has been offered to mitigate these effects, which is in itself an admission that there is going to be a problem. But if you look at the sums involved, they are very, very small. They are nothing but a token. In matters of landscape, the NPPF said that plans should be sustainable and enhance and protect valued environments. And I believe that Tidemills is a very protected and very valuable environment, both for the reasons we've heard and indeed for its archaeological and historical interest as well. It is a very different and I'm going to say completely unique. You can't say it is a unique part of the county which needs protecting. And then we turn to lighting. The applicant has agreed it will need lighting, and we all know that lighting produces its own very special form of pollution. And the report is talking about complementing existing lighting, so more lighting in an environmentally sensitive area. I think this site is identified for development, and we all agree development needs to take place. All the plans say there should be further development in Newhaven, but sites should be used for new technologies, for cleaner, greener technologies. What we have before us is very much looking back to the past, to the last century. I believe that if we truly believe that Newhaven should be developed and advanced as a modern, thriving place, we should be looking for new technologies on this site which are cleaner and won't be detrimental to the life of the people living there.